2018 Ford Shelby GT350. 2018 Ford Shelby GT350 review. The 2018 Ford Shelby GT350 might appear to be a pumped-up Mustang, yet it's so much a lot more than that. This is probably the only year you can actually argue that the Ford Shelby GT350 is inferior on the regular Mustang. While the common Mustang it is based on gets to be a significant update in 2010 that includes new styling and features, the GT350 stays similar. Luckily for many people, we like the Shelby GT350 only the way it can be. The GT350 is really a muscle car for that track day obsessed. Yes, it shares some looks and interior parts while using standard Mustang, even so the key differences are hidden from view. Under the hood is really a non-turbocharged 5.2-litre V8. It revs approximately 8,200 revolutions per minute, punches out 526 horsepower, as well as has a flat plane crankshaft that lends an exclusive warble towards the engine's sound. From there, the GT350 incorporates a race-tuned adaptive suspension, high-performance brakes, and all of supportive powertrain upgrades that set it apart. It'll rest thick stripes of rubber inside a straight line, naturally. Even so, the GT350 is most at your home around problematic racetrack or possibly a winding mountain road. Despite its target performance, the GT350 is comfortable and relatively quiet, as soon as your right foot isn't planted onto the floor, plus it could easily function as daily driver. Well-rounded and massively entertaining, the GT350 is without a doubt our notion of the ultimate Mustang. What's new? While the typical 2018 Mustang turns into a variety of updates, including refreshed front and back styling, the 2018 Shelby GT350 is unchanged. Our recommendation for the Shelby GT350 is the base model. Just make sure to have the optional electronics package. The standard GT350 standard infotainment product is pretty underwhelming, but getting that package replaces it with some key upgrades that are included with an 8-inch touchscreen with Sync 3, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a 9-speaker subwoofer with satellite radio. Trim levels and features. The 2018 Ford Shelby GT350 is often a high-performance version in the Mustang Coupe. There are two trim levels, the Cab GT350 plus the race-focused GT350R. Essentially, the GT350 would be the track day version of any Mustang and, consequently, they have many performance features that you will never see over a standard rental Mustang. Standard equipment for your base GT350 carries a 5.2-litre V8, 526 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque, a 6-speed manual transmission, 19-inch wheels, adaptive suspension dampers and heavy-duty springs, Brembo brakes, a torsion rear differential, with 3.73 gearing, a front suspension tower brace, 3 powertrain coolers, oil, differential and transmission, adjustable drive settings, xenon headlights, a rear spoiler and diffuser, and keyless ignition and entry. Inside, there are manually adjustable Recaro front seats with simulated suede inserts, a tilt and telescoping steering column, a leather-wrapped tire, Bluetooth, a 4.2-inch center display, track apps performance telemetry, a rear-view camera, phone and audio voice commands, sync, smartphone app integration, plus a 6-speaker audio system with 2 USB ports. Opting with the electronics package equips the GT350 with dual-zone automatic climate control, an 8-inch touchscreen with Sync 3, with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, a navigation system, plus a 9-speaker head unit with satellite radio. The convenience package adds leather upholstery, driver seat memory settings, 6-way power adjustable sport front seats with power lumbar for the driver, and heating and ventilation for your front seats. The GT350R gets most from the GT350's standard equipment, plus 19-inch carbon fiber wheels, with special Michelin tires, revised suspension tuning and aerodynamic body enhancements, front chin splitter and carbon fiber rear wing, particularly. The GT350R comes minus the air conditioning, speakers, floor mats, rear seat, rear view camera, sync system and tire inflation kit. To get those features back, Ford supplies the R electronics package, which puts the majority of it during the car along with all the dual-zone climate control, 9-speaker head unit, plus the previously mentioned 8-inch touchscreen with Sync 3. Trim tested. Each vehicle typically is available in multiple versions which might be fundamentally similar. The S within this review are depending on our full test on the 2016 Ford Shelby GT350, 5.2 liters V8, 6-speed manual, RWD. Note, since this test was conducted, the latest Ford Shelby GT350 has brought only minor revisions, for example the addition in the track suspension as standard equipment, or test car was preloaded with that option, and also the introduction of some additional choices. Our findings remain applicable to this current year's Ford Shelby GT350. Driving. Ford has every straightaway to be proud with this car. It's well-rounded, well-mannered and well-equipped enough to take care of most anything it to. It's arguably the very best Mustang ever built, through the motor towards the handling on the sheer thrill it gives drivers. Acceleration. This engine is impressively flexible. It may feel a little soft under 3,500 revolutions per minute, nevertheless it never stumbles and is also happy to be driven casually. Once you allow it rip, you'll find nothing else want it. The power is astonishing. Addicting. And that sound. Braking. The pedal can be a bit firm and does require some effort. But these can be extremely capable brakes which might be easy to modulate out. Challenging roads didn't induce any fade. Bonus, they've got massive looks when parked. Steering. It's accurate and responsive but largely free of feel. There are 3 selectable modes, Comfort, Normal and Sport, though the differences are minimal. The tire feels good in your hands, plus the buttons aren't getting in the way. Handling. Good, predictable grip, however, not as aggressive you may expect. Well-mannered on a lot of pavement. Superior turn-in is liable a consequence on the GT350's unique tires and alignment as it has the identical steering rack because GT. Drivability. Tricky clutch take-up, but as with all the brakes, you quickly become accustomed to it. The engine is pleased to lope through traffic and do not feel high-strung or finicky. The gears are well stacked, though the plasticky shift action might be better. Comfort. Just as impressive because 5.2-liter V8 include the comfort and degree of refinement on the GT350. Over a selection of road surfaces, the Shelby remains composed and predictable and provide the driver lots of confidence. The car is well within its rights to become a lot worse whilst still being get away with it. Seat comfort. Though the seats look similar on the Recaro as obtainable in the GT, the bolsters are shaped differently and never interfere with gear selection as they are able in the regular Mustang. The seats are certainly supportive and quite comfortable over long distances. Ride comfort. If the engine wasn't so amazing, the adaptive suspension would steal the show. It's surprisingly comfortable because of the car's performance focus. Normal and Sport modes are suitable for almost any road condition. Body control is very useful. Even track mode isn't punishing. Noise and vibration. The cabin is surprisingly quiet, specifically a car with frameless windows and aggressive tires. In the default exhaust mode, the V8 keeps to itself, with simply a hint of resonance around 1,800 revolutions per minute. No buzzes or rattles. Climate control. The single-zone climate control product is shared together with the standard Mustang. It's straightforward and efficient and keeps up even though you're driving hard. Interior. Thankfully the GT350 doesn't deviate an excessive amount from the normal Mustang's interior layout. Though some shortcomings remain, the Recaro seats, straightforward instrumentation and simulated suede accented tire help keep the width in from getting from the way of a good time. Ease useful. Most controls are happy Mustang pieces, nevertheless the base radio and media interface is incongruously low buck. It's a nod to austerity. The more expensive touchscreen is optional, however with too many buttons, many of them unlabeled, it does not take low point from the interior. Acquiring it, getting out. As aggressive and supportive because Recaro seats are, they may be relatively simple to get in and from. The long doors helps it be easy but sometimes also be a hassle in the confined space. Access on the rear seat is laughable, as may be the legroom. Driving position. The manually adjustable Recaros are superb and provides more than adequate support for many individuals. The tire position and spoke layout are fantastic. It's comfortable and very easy to drive in the relaxed or aggressive manner. Roominess. Interior space hasn't been compromised inside the name of performance. There's adequate headroom and shoulder room for just 2 adults, however, many might find the middle console somewhat intrusive. The rear seats is highly recommended as storage. Visibility. Aided by way of a lower profile hood, the GT350 has decent outward visibility, especially to the segment. The rear quarter windows are appreciated even though they may be small. The tiny rear view camera display is disappointing. Quality. With the exception of the bed space multimedia interface, fit and complete is fairly good. Cheap feeling plastics are available, but most with the control surfaces feel appropriate, the shift knob being really the only real exception. No squeaks or rattles. Utility. No one's thinking about buying a GT350 depending on its ability to carry lumber and big gulps. Even so, the Shelby retains every bit of an standard Mustang's practicality. You might have to declutter it to locate room for use on your effects. Nevertheless, the usable trunk definitely makes the GT350 an everyday driver proposition. Small item storage. There's not much of a ton of space for small items outside in the center console and cup holders. The door pockets take the small and shallow side. Cargo space. Even using the slightly high liftover, both trunk access and cargo space are decent for that class. And the GT350 retains split and folding rear seatbacks, which perform even more flexibility and practicality. Technology. Multimedia and integrated technology were never the best priorities from the GT350. Our car's lackluster performance in this particular area is usually quite curable by adding the electronic package. Audio and navigation. This GT350 came together with the base sound system, which lacks navigation along with the 8-inch LCD touchscreen. Though the audio quality is adequate, this base system looks low rent, especially in the vehicle on this price. Smartphone integration. Phone integration is pretty straightforward with both Apple and Android phones, but nothing special. The optional electronic package will make technology integration easier and involve less guesswork.